What is the first thing you think of when you hear arranged marriage? For most of us, especially in our culture, it's not any good thoughts. If you click on the link in this slide, you'll see a 12-minute short film that portrays, with actors portraying a couple meeting for the first time in an arranged marriage. A fun fact that I learned was oftentimes the spouse's parents will meet their child's other half in the marriage before the child does. There's a long-standing myth that all love is universal, and multiple studies done in cross-cultural research shows that intimate feelings are different across cultures. It's not all as universal as we think it is. If you think about Western society like the United States versus a society like China, these regions all share and identify a lot of the same basic emotions except for love. When you initially think of these two different regions, what do you think of? It's hard for us, especially in this society, to make different claims about what someone in China might feel like as far as love. We tend to think that it's something that's universal. It's the same over here that it is over there. We have the Western love story, which is that we all have personal connections. It's all very romanticized. We have very positive emotions when we think of love, and it has to do with personal happiness and happily ever after, all the fairy tales and nice stories about love. When you think about how Chinese people think of love, this may be a little counterintuitive, but some of the research conducted in China shows that their views on love are very different from ours. It's a lot of negative emotions, very negative feelings towards love. Unrequited feelings, infatuation, sorrow, and love born from obligation. Something that is not very intuitive when we think about it in our culture.
Hello, my name is Brianna Miller, and I'm presenting the second half of the Arranged Marriages slideshow. So why doesn't everyone love love? The Buddhist concept of Wan means that outcomes of relationships are predestined and little can be done to change that. So no matter how much we try, how much we go around things or rebel against things, at the end of the day, our relationships are determined for us, which is a concept that's very foreign to us in Western society. This tends to cause more constraints, less control, and more connection to circumstances rather than to chance. Concepts such as this one cause large cultural differences when it comes to love and intimacy. Choice matters. When we think of love in America, we think of the Hollywood dream. We meet someone, we fall in love, we bring them home, and voila. Ring, marriage, kids, and a white picket fence. But what if we didn't have a say in that matter? In the United States, family tends to support the transition to promote growth and happiness. In places such as China and India, we have a different perspective. The individuals and families instead collaborate to find partners for their offspring, which then enhances the overall family stability and the social standing. When we take a look at a cross-sectional study that was conducted between 1933 and 1987, the results from Chinese province shows that there's increased happiness when we're able to select our own partners. But what does this mean? Is this merely perception of being in control, or is it actual satisfaction? So, for a spotlight on arranged marriages through surveys show that spouses are less satisfied. So why do parents choose for their children? Most of them do this to benefit the original family unit, to preserve their family unit, and to also increase social status, or at least preserve the social status that they have. So how does this work? Most cases, families in modern times, the parents now consider the opinions and feelings of their children when choosing a particular mate. So love isn't necessarily absent in the choice, it's just not the priority or the foundation of the relationship. How has marriage changed in the West? So marriages are now much less rigid, they're less industrialized and judged, and less institutionalization around it. So a fun fact was, back in the mid to late 1900s, divorced men were actually frowned upon at work. It was actually harder for them to get jobs. So things like that have been broken broken down, so marriage of all different backgrounds and types are much more accepted in America. And then our final thought. So arranged marriages provide stability through low and modest expectations, but is that enough? In conventional love, it provides love and passion through choice, but is that enough to last? In India, where 60% of arranged marriages, 60% of marriages are still arranged, the divorce rate is less than 1%. In America, with conventional love and passion through choice, divorce rates are over 50%. We are actually number 4 with the divorce rates right now. So is choice enough, or does love need to be the foundation? Alrighty, thank you guys so much for watching our presentation.